Hello everyone, good evening. I am Arina Manasikana and in this video I am going to tell you and describe you an American famous writer. Okay, have you ever heard about Oliver Wendell Holmes? Yep, Oliver Wendell Holmes, the American famous writer and physician. He was born on the 29th of August 1809 at Cambridge, and his father, Abel Holmes, was a Calvinist clergyman, the writer of a useful history, annals of America, and of much very dull poetry. His mother is the second wife of Abel, was Sarah Wendell of a distinguished New York family. Anyways, his great wife is Amelia Lee Jackson. In 1840, he married Amelia Lee Jackson, uh, which is daughter of the Hon, and formerly Associate Justice of the State Supreme Judicial Court, a lady of rare charm, light of mind and character. She died in the winter of 1887, and their firstborn child, Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr., afterwards became Chief Justice of the same bench on which his grandfather sat. And well, Dr. Holmes is a student in Phillips Academy, Andover in 1825, and he continued his studies at Harvard University in 1836. Being in the year the Pi Beta Kappa poet at Harvard University, he published his first volume of poems, which afterwards reached a second edition. Among these earlier lyrics was the last leaf, one of the most delicate combination of pathos and humor in literature. And oh yeah, also as we know, and I told you before that he is a physician and he studied in medical school in Cambridge University in 1836. And in 1847, Dr. Holmes was appointed professor of anatomy and physiology in the medical school of Harvard University. The duties involving the giving of instruction also in kindred departments, so that, as he said, he occupied not the chair but a seat in the school. He delivered the anatomical lectures until November 1882, and in later years, these were his only link with the medical profession, and he has three children. Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr., he is a judge in U.S. Supreme Court Justice. Edward Jackson Holmes, that is a lawyer, and Amelia Jackson Holmes. By the way, his most famous prose works are the Breakfast Table series, which began with the autocrat of the Breakfast Table in 1858. The autocrat of the Breakfast Table is a collection of essays, and the essays were originally published in the Atlantic Monthly in 1857 and 1858 before being collected in book form. Dr. Holmes had written two essays with the same name, which were published in the earlier the New England magazine in November 1831 and February 1832, which are alluded to in a mention of an interruption at the start of the first essay. The essay takes the form of a chiefly one-sided dialogue between the unnamed author and the other residents of a New England boarding house who are known only by their profession, location at the table, or other defining characteristics. The topic discussed range from an essay on the unexpected benefits of old age to the finest place to site a dwelling and comments on the nature of conversation itself. The tone of the book is distinctly Yankee and takes a serio-comic approach to the subject matter. Each essay typically ends with a poem on the theme of the essay, and there are also poems ostensibly written by the fictional disputants scattered throughout. And after his return from Paris in 1835, Dr. Holmes lived in Boston with summer sojournings at Pittsfield and Beverly Farms and occasional trips to neighboring cities until 1886. And he then undertook a 4 month journey in Europe and in England had a sort of triumphal progress. On his return, he wrote Our 100 Days in Europe in 1887, a courteous recognition of the hospitality and praise which had been accorded to him. And during this visit, Cambridge University made him Doctor of Letters, Edinburgh University made him Doctor of Laws, and Oxford University made him Doctor of Civil Law. Already in 1880, Harvard University had made him Doctor of Laws, and he died on the 7th of October 1894 and was buried from King's Chapel, Boston, in the cemetery of Mount Auburn. I think that's all about the biography of Oliver Wendell Holmes, as known as Dr. Holmes. And thanks for watching and see you in another video. Bye.